30 plus years now as a business owner, and I talk to a lot of other business owners, and that entitled mentality is so pervasive amongst our youth where, oh, it's too hard, I'm not going to work, or I don't feel like working today, I'm not even going to show up. My daughter had a job out the airport, and she worked for one of the airlines as at the counter bringing in tickets, or she'd work up at the gate or something like that, and she had a couple coworkers up there that just, I don't feel like working today, I'm not coming in.
Yeah. What? You can't do that in the real world.
It's just show up. And that was it. And she'd get called in all the time and had to put in extra hours because she was always willing to work. But it's not just there. I see a lot of that everywhere where it's that entitled mentality, that entitled personality where it's all about convenience. It's all about what I want. It's all about the here and now, from the video games to the social media addiction to everybody's cell phones addictions. It's about pleasuring myself now and not about anything difficult or hard.
Yep.
Because difficult or hard would actually require me to learn something, gain some skills, gain a backbone, gain a little toughness, social maturity, all those type of things, and people just don't care about any of those values. And which is, again, going back to the whole point of our podcast here being God and Countries, we're trying to bring those morals and values back into society. And we're not trying to get preaching on this podcast, but we want some kind of decency to come back into society. Because without that decency, we're going to lose entire generations as a whole. We're going to lose ourselves. I mean, that's how Rome was destroyed. They lost their decency. They went into moral degradation, and they fell.
Yep.
And every society that loses that morality, they fall. And the United States is not going to be any different from that.
And we're at that part in that cycle, what we're seeing where other countries have failed, and we're getting there if we're not careful.
Which is why I'm so glad that we have this new administration in the office. Because if we had the other administration, just imagine
another 4 years with
how far of a dip we would have had in just outright moral degradation. I mean, one of the things we did in our very, very first podcast is we kind of pointed out the difference between before Trump and after Trump of how many people are willing to talk about God in just everyday life versus before versus after. Before, it was kind of embarrassing, I believe in God, and nobody really kind of talked about it. No, it wasn't really mentioned much in the public sphere. And all of a sudden now, oh yeah, I'm faith believing. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter what religion you're professing. Just, do you have some kind of a moral base that you're existing off of? And are you afraid to stand up for it? Even if you don't necessarily completely believe in God, there still needs to be a moral base there, and you've got to be able to stand up for it. Because if you don't stand up for the basic common principles, society as a whole is going to fall. Then all of a sudden, everything that shouldn't be acceptable is all of a sudden is acceptable. And then the next step down from that is not only acceptable, but if you don't support it, now you're the problem. Mm-hmm. That isn't the problem. You're the problem.
And the majority of people have a higher power, different names, but with good principles, a higher power with great principles. But yet we did receive some comments on some of our platforms, and let's bring back Santa Claus and whatever other nonsense they related to it as if God didn't exist.
Yeah, but you got to have that moral background. If you don't have a moral compass somewhere, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And people think that degradation is actually going in the right direction. Well, we're becoming a better society now. We're becoming a more inclusive society. We're becoming more accepting a society now. Right. We're going in the right direction. We just got to keep working on it. We're going to work hard to keep going in this direction.
And hard work builds strong people, and trials build strong people.
And we're saying, you're putting hard work in the wrong direction, because that is completely destroying our society.
Well, and it's interesting too, guys, because they all criminal law is based on what the cultural morals of the society are, right? Like that's why pedophilia is illegal, because we have a society have said,
and that's getting attacked.
Which is why we have to make all of our morals drive the laws that we have. That's why some countries are different than others with their morals, and their laws are different, and states now. But we need to make sure we maintain that, because once you lose that, then you start to lose your freedoms, like Colorado just did. Those parents just lost that right to their children because some other group of lawmakers deemed that their morals weren't the right morals. And so that just determined their law there. The only way to flip that back is to get that law overturned by getting either a different governor and different legislators in there, and people need to rise up and do that.
It's so hard to overturn laws once they're in.
Once they're in, it's very hard to do.